Check, check.
Good evening, everyone. So happy to have each and every one of you. As we stated earlier, we just want everybody to feel at home. The closer you can get to the front of the room, it makes everything easier. So if you have a question to ask, it's easy to be heard, as well as the people online are able to hear you. We've got folks online, we've got folks in person. We just want to thank you for coming out. We want to talk about Liberation Vacation Bible School. And what we thought going into this year was really spearheaded by Pastor Tanya Crump. We want to thank you for coming up with this idea of how we can reach across the ocean, and as well as just those that we have here in our very midst. So that's a special message.
It's one of the...
Tonight, we're going to be with the Dario family, and the country is the Gambia, or the Gambia. Yeah, the Gambia. And if you enjoyed the meal tonight, I just want you to realize who prepared the meal. If those young folks that cooked that meal, if they would stand, I'd greatly appreciate it. You guys stand, please. If you enjoyed the food, that was fantastic. Really enjoyed that. And then on tomorrow night, we go to Nigeria. But this is all an extension of Sunday school. And Sunday school just wants to do everything we can to embrace people and encourage them to connect with one another in practical ways. So we'll turn it over to Brian, and she'll get us started.
I kind of think he said everything that I was going to say. There's one thing that I would like to add. Each evening we are learning about West African countries, where a lot of us that are here in the United States, that's our roots, that's our home. A lot of that culture has been lost to us, stolen from us. So this is the opportunity for us to reclaim some of the culture that we didn't grow up with, we have no awareness of. So I am so appreciative that Pastor Tanya thought and was forethinking enough to allow us this opportunity to learn about where we came from. So with that,
We'll turn it over to Pastor Cleaver. He's going to say a few words and then pray us in.
All right, still want to make the connection with the Bible in Africa. As you all know, I'm not telling you all anything you don't know, that Moses married an African woman. Moses married an African woman. But the story of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, the Bible tells us about their interaction and their relationship, and that King Solomon gave the Queen of Sheba all sorts of gifts. What the Bible doesn't tell, what we learn in Ethiopian tradition, is they had a son. And that son took with him back to Ethiopia the Ark of the Covenant. So today, in 2026, the Ark of the Covenant, according to Beta Israel in Ethiopia, is in Ethiopia. There's no other place in the world that claims to have the Ark of the Covenant. For those who may not know, the Ark of the Covenant is where the Ten Commandments are housed. It was in the temple. And after the destruction, really during the time of King Solomon, it is believed that the Ark of the Covenant was given because King Solomon started worshiping other gods. So the Ark of the Covenant would not have had as much importance to him as it did at one time. But that's the story for today. That the Ark of the Covenant houses the Ten Commandments that we read about in the book of Exodus, is in Ethiopia. Bad thing is, none of us will ever see it. Does anybody know why? Because only the high priest can see the Ark of the Covenant. You can go and see the church where it is, but you won't be able to see the Ark of the Covenant. That is only for the high priest. Judaism has been in Ethiopia, some believe, since the fall of the first temple around 587 BC. And since that time, Judaism has flourished on the continent of Africa. And there are many more connections between the biblical story and the motherland. Let's pray. Merciful, mighty, holy God, we honor you. We thank you for this time to learn and grow. We thank you for one another and all those who have worked and prepared the lessons, the food. We are truly grateful. Bless our time might encounter you, and may it all be for your glory. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. One more piece of trivia that I want to share with everybody. And some of you may know, but I doubt it. Anyway, in 1977, a show here on national TV, and it took the hearts and minds of many of us that never thought about this before. The show was Roots. January 23rd, 1977, stayed on TV for 8 consecutive days. The star of the show, Kunta Kinte, was from the country. Give it. So, that's a round of applause. Because the money that didn't know. So you bring such richness to us. And we look forward to hearing from you tonight, Victoria.
Thank you so much. Good evening, St. James. Good evening, family. Good evening, and welcome to this introduction to the Gambia country in West Africa, and we'll hear more about it. I want to really thank you guys for being here and learning and sharing with us about our country and our heritage. I would like to invite you to join us in singing the national anthem of the Gambia before we start. I think that will put you in the right mood to be able to sing.
Most Gambians have sung the national anthem since childhood at school assemblies, football matches, independence celebrations, every morning with our hands across our chests. But very few people actually know the woman who wrote those powerful words. Her name was Virginia Julia Howe, the woman behind the words "For the Gambia, our homeland." Back in the early 1960s, as the Gambia was preparing for independence from Britain, the country needed national symbols that would represent the new nation. A competition was organized to select a national anthem before independence in 1965. That was when Virginia Julia Howe and her husband Jeremy Frederick Howe became part of Gambian history forever. Virginia wrote the lyrics of the anthem while Jeremy helped compose and arrange the music. But the story goes even deeper than many people realize. The melody itself was inspired by traditional Gambian kora music connected to the famous Mandinka song Fode Kaba Dumbia, linked to the legendary griots and kora player Jale Nyamba Suso. So the anthem became a mixture of Gambian culture and written poetry. That means our national anthem was not just copied from Europe like many African countries during colonial times. It carries a Gambian sound, a Gambian soul, and a Gambian message of unity. Listen carefully to the words. That all may live in unity, freedom, and peace each day. Those lines were written before independence even happened, at a time when tribes, politics, and colonial rule could have divided the country. The anthem was already calling for peace and togetherness, and maybe that is why the anthem still survives today, not because of politics, not because people were forced to sing it, but because the message still speaks to Gambians even now. What is interesting is that over the years, many Gambians forgot who actually wrote it. Some even believed other people created the anthem because there were debates and confusion around its origins for decades. But historical records and later explanations confirms that Virginia Julia Howe wrote the lyrics while Jeremy Frederick Howe composed and adapted the music before independence in 1965. So the next time the Gambian national anthem plays, remember this: behind those words was a woman whose name many people never learned in school. Yet her voice has been repeated by millions of Gambians for generations. For the Gambia, our homeland, a song that became the heartbeat of a nation.
Good evening, St. James. My name is Regina Williamson, and I am a proud Gambian American. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Gambia. The Gambia is a small country located in West Africa. It is also known as the smiling coast of Africa. It's because of the friendliness and hospitality of its people. The country is almost entirely surrounded by Senegal, except for the western coastline, which is along the Atlantic Ocean. The capital city of Gambia, it's Banjul, and one of our largest urban areas is Serekunda, one of the cities. Our population is approximately 2.8 million people. Our official language is English because we were a British colony, and in 1965 we received our independence from Great Britain. The Gambia is a home to several ethnic groups, including Mandinka, Fula, Wolof, Jola, and Sarabule. We have many, Gambia has many, I would say, dishes, and one of them you guys tried today, it's called chicken yassa. There is a second one that we make that's called domoda, which is a peanut butter soup, and then benachin, which we seem to find in the West African area with Nigeria and Ghana, about the fact that jollof rice comes from Senegambia, so it belongs to us. The main industries are agriculture. We do granites and cotton, and then fishing and tourism are one of our sources of income. Also, we trade services. Tourism is a major source of income in the Gambia. So we attract a lot of visitors from different countries because of the beautiful beaches we have there. Even though I didn't know how to swim until I came to the United States. So we do have a huge culture and heritage in our country. So we're happy to share it with you guys. Thank you. it's a, you said 2 years, that is what you take, or 6 years you take to get a wife. At the gate, there is a lot of problems there because the bride has cousins who need to be paid. They need to have money, and they want to share it equally. They want it, and it has to be something valuable that, a valuable amount that they can use to get something that they can remember, because you're taking their cousin from them. So when they get to the gate, before the gate is open, there should be, all sorts of money, some promises and things like that. Some of the people who are coming would try to say they're climbing over the wall. They will do all sorts of things. Some people have even gone with a ladder to say that they will climb over the wall with the ladder. They do all sorts of things. It's just a fun time and hilarious time. So you see, when they're coming, they're not coming empty. In their hands, you see, some are carrying something that they call shukubrai, a basket. Some have, now they modernize it. They will take these rolling suitcases and things like that. And in those, when we get into it, you'll see what was in those boxes. But they're heavy and those people who are carrying it needs to be paid. But the bride's family don't care. They don't care how heavy it is. And they allow you to get inside. There's the next slide, I think, will show us a picture of them getting inside the compound. Yeah, so they've allowed them into the house. But if you look at the picture of the people who are going into the house, there's a priest. You cannot go to this engagement without the priest. The parish priest of the girls' church will be there. And if you look at I guess maybe it's another picture, I'll show him to you. But then you see the girls' family, they also have their priest sitting there. She's a Catholic. This engagement really is my cousin who just got engaged in December. These are pictures from that. The lady who's there with the pink, she led the delegation, and she's my cousin. I can tell you the names of everybody in that picture except for the girl's family, because I haven't met them yet. So when they get in, they allow them, they cannot put their loads down. They have to hold it. They cannot, anything you do is by instruction. If you don't listen to the instructions, then you will stay there longer. So the next slide, please. So she would say, oh, we've come to your house because we've seen a very nice flower in your garden and we want to pluck it. Oh, you want to pluck our flower? You think we don't like beautiful things too, And so until finally say, oh yes, we mean business. And now she's showing them the engagement ring that you take. It's not like me and you meet at a restaurant and I just surprise you and all the strangers around say, oh, she said yes. You do that, you'll be in trouble. Even if they do it when they're here, they go back home to get married, have the wedding there, they will have to have this event. They will have to have it. So when in the shukubla, there's a basket, a pink basket that they put on their head. Usually it was very small. In it you will have all sorts of things, like you'll have a needle, you'll have thread, you'll have scissors, you'll have the ring, and you'll have all the denominations of the money in the Gambia. Because they do that because they say when we quarrel, we say, you have never given me a penny. I have never got a butut from you, So on that day, they gave it to you, so you cannot say that. No, so, yeah. The next one. So now it's time, that's too far. Actually, before even the girl gets the ring from one of the elderly lady, somebody who might have stood the test of time and has been married and has gone through it, will be there to give you the ring. So that means she's transferring her blessings and her courage and her stamina and everything for you to be able to withstand the trials and tribulations of marriage. So before that, they will bring their cousins, they will bring them to the family to come and say, is this the flower you're saying that you've come to pluck? And that is a test, because if you do not know who your son is dating, you would not know the girl. So they have to go with somebody who knows the girl. So at that time, the friends, the family, the friends of the girl in the family will come out. That's the time they play their own role. So everybody has a role. Everybody has a part to play. So the young girls who know the girl will come and they will be able to tell you who. But they'll bring everybody. They'll bring anybody, somebody passing in the street. If you agree, you come, they will bring you and say, is this the flower, and things like that. So finally, when they identify the girl, then they come and do, then she gets the ring. And then our time, we do not go to the engagement. We are not there. You are not there. You're not there. After the engagement, after the boy's family gives you the ring, you are not there to take it. They give it to you the next day. But then your father or your mother would have prayed with you and then give it to you. And now they do it this way. Well, everything is being modernized, and time, maybe travel up and down to go look for you and give it to you and things like that. So they gave it to her. Now, the things that were in that suitcase are what they have offloaded. Those things are expensive. Every cousin would give something. They want to outdo each other. Who gave you the best? Because then you tell the girl, you see that blue? I gave it to you. You better make sure your child's name is after me. you will try to try to get the girl to do all this. So finally, she is given the ring, and then she embraces the family, everybody, and things like that. They will share food, and then they will dance. But then the young ones will have their party somewhere, and they will have a party maybe until the night is until dawn, But that is what we do at engagement. It can be elaborate, it can be quiet, it can take different style depending on the girl, the family, and the boy. Another thing I wanted to share with you is our traditional activities. We come from the Creole, which is the Aku, which is mainly from Sierra Leone. Initially, the Gambia was not a country, but during the colonial times, they separated Sierra Leone, the people in Sierra Leone, and brought some of them to this country they call Gambia, which was surrounded by Senegal. So it was not like the original country. The Gambia was established because of that. I was talking to a friend today, somebody who sits next to me at work, and he was curious about Gambia. So I guess he went and he Googled it, and he came and he said, I thought it was in the east, but now I see it's the west. I said, yes, we're in the west. He says, it's a very small country. Yes, it's like a finger inside of Senegal. And he said to me, so why did they establish such a country? I said, well, ask the colonial masters, because I guess everybody wanted a share, everybody wanted something, everybody had to get something. So they did whatever they could, create boundaries that were not there, and yeah. So that's the story. So we have a lot of, my tribe, my ethnic group have a lot of similarities with Sierra Leone, and the next picture that we'll be seeing will be them will be the Gambian who are in the diaspora and in Gambia. Every January now, they have an event where they call it Print Oshoku, I don't know how they call it, but then everybody goes there. From the beginning to the end, it's only traditional music. You will hear no James Brown, neither will you hear Michael Jackson. Yeah. Can we have that, please? Thank you so much. This is as much as we have. We were going to do something else, but unfortunately, the Strait of Hormuz get us, and people couldn't do what they could do so that we could have live shows. We were supposed to do a christening. We were also supposed to do a confirmation to show how we do those things at home, but unfortunately, we didn't get that. So I think we're gonna bring this to a close, but I want to put you all to a test. And that's what the next slide is. It's a song I want us to learn together. I hope you will enjoy it. I can sing it, but it will not.
So wonders, Jesus they do. So wonders, Jesus do.
Can you say so wonders?
So wonders,
Jesus, it's only wonders that Jesus does.
so wonders, Jesus. So wonders,
Jesus they do. So wonders, Jesus they do.
so wonders,
Jesus they do.
He they do.
So wonders.
Come on now, He bought some sugar,
He bought my bread, sugar, my tea.
He bought some sugar, so wonders, Jesus they do. So wonders, He they do. So
wonders, Jesus they do.
yeah.
So wonders, Jesus they do.
So wonders,
So wonders, Jesus they do.
so wonders,
So wonders, Jesus they do.
He bought some sugar,
So just quickly, if you have any questions or comments, please raise your hand, and you will be ready to answer any questions. Okay? And you got a mic too, right? All right. Yep.
Yes, I'd like to know, is there a period of time after the engagement that they have to stay engaged before they get married, or can you get married, right away?
Mostly it's 6 months. I'm sorry, mostly it's 6 months after the engagement. 6 months. Yeah, 6 months after. They do 1 year, but seldom. It's always 6 months after the engagement. You know you should be ready for that big day.
While many of us acquaint ourselves with Senegal and the point of no return and the slave ships that came there were many of us, are there other coastal cities or townships along the coast in the Gambia where also slave ships came and the point of no return that we hear of all the time, like Senegal?
I'm sorry. I can help with that. No, Gambia does not. Oops, I'm sorry.
So they can see you on TV too, or online as
Sorry.
well.
No, the gate of no return is in Senegal, and Gambia does not have an entry where slaves were picked up from to sea.
Well, the door of no return, the door of no return is the door through which slaves used to leave the house of slaves in the Gorée Island, which is in Senegal. Okay? And when slaves went through that door of no return, they never came back. They never came back. So, right there, they get on the ship and they were transported to the Americas. Now, it was like, can I say more?
Yes, go ahead.
It was a little bit like dying, okay? And the worst thing about dying, that means going as a slave through the door of no return, is that no one back home never saw your body. You were gone and gone forever. You remember, like my tree? They would never bury you under your tree, like we discussed yesterday. That is, now.
Mr. Gomzi, is it true that the slaves come from different parts of Africa to Senegal?
Exactly.
They were captured.
Yes.
Yes.
I showed a map of Africa yesterday where slaves came from 13 different sites in Africa and all on the west coast. Okay. I took a group of students from Kansas City to visit Senegal, and like Victoria said, Senegal is included inside, the Gambia is included inside Senegal. It used to be Senegambie.
It is Senegal.
It is Senegambie. So I took a group of students and we explained that phenomenon. I have a young lady, actually I met her recently in Lee Summit. It was about it was in 1996. She went through the door of no return, and she came back and she said, I returned. I mean, teenagers. She said, I returned. And I said, okay. But no slaves ever returned. Actually, I have a whole program on the slave trade, the rite of passage. No, did I say rite of passage? And how the slaves were kept in the house of slave in what is supposed to be, what is said to be the longest, the most important supermarket of slave trades in Africa. So out of the 13 sites that I presented yesterday, one, the house of slaves in the Gorée Island, which is an island really in the middle of Atlantic Ocean. Water is right there, the ocean is right there, and the house of slaves is on this side, and that's actually, Rev, we can present that someday in February, if somebody wants to listen to that too.
And as you talk about Gorée Island, I did visit Gorée Island before
to the gate of no return. And if anybody's able to, it's not a cheap, it's not a cheap trip, but it's worth it. Going into the area, it's not, people can't stand up straight. It's like they bend that way. That's how tall it is.
Exactly.
And you'll see the door where the ship would dock to it, and they would walk in. There were some people that preferred to fall to their deaths, because if you look down, it's far down, and when you fall down there, you're not going to survive. So it's very, and I remember going in there, there was one thing I always remembered, it always felt so cold in there, very cold. So
the house was built in the 1500s, so it was really, it's an old brick house. You go there, you look at the book. What was most popular for the young students, the 12 students that I took to Senegal, was that you have signatures and pictures of people, and they were so excited to see Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson picture. That's the only thing they could remember. The Pope, Martin Luther King, and all that, and they start, doing the Michael Jackson. So it was, anyway, I can talk all day.
Any other questions?
My question is, over here. My question is there a certain amount of time that they have to, that the groom and the bride have to date before they can be engaged? And I know Professor Gumsey is from Cameroon. The families had to agree for them to get married. Is that the same in Gambia? That the two families have to agree for them to get married?
yes, they would have had some side talks before they would agree, because they have to tell them. I did. Sorry. They have to tell, both parties should know that we're going and they're coming. The groom's family should should have told the bride's family that they're coming. For them to bring all the people there around the table, because there's a table, and it is a full discussion. I wish we had it on video. Then you would hear what they're saying. I'm just telling you, and I haven't done any justice to what they say. It's like a court of law. You really have to provide everything. And some people have stayed engaged have known each other for a long time. Some, it's just a short time. Yeah.
I kind of noticed a similarity between what we heard last night in terms of identifying the bride. It was a little bit different where they would mix them up, where you were saying last night they'd mix the girls up if they didn't pick the right one, and here they have to also do that. Is that just done differently in various cultures within Africa? It's just interesting that both do it, but in very different ways.
There's a lot of similarities within West African cultures, and that's one of the things that I guess makes us unique. The food and ceremonies like that. Some have, based on their tribe, some will do things a little different because of their tribe. And then my mom said something about Sierra Leone. The one thing about Sierra Leone was a place where freed slaves went to. That's why they call it Freetown. So their official language is broken English. So it's like what they used to speak to master with. So
I know that you didn't talk about the ritual of death, but is there a process after someone dies that is a ritual for your country?
When somebody dies, they do things the same, like there will be a wake keeping where everybody will come and meet the members of the family. Before olden days, they would bring the corpse at dawn in the coffin. It's like, they'll bring that for And then that very next day they will bury. Yeah. Yeah. In the Gambia, if they don't bury you immediately after maybe a week after, it's because maybe your children, families are abroad and they're waiting for them to come. That's the Christian thing. The Muslims, they do it immediately you are dead. And if you die like around 6 in the morning, the first prayer that they have the next day is the time they will bury you. A prayer time should not pass if you have died. That's what they will do. Now, my colleagues abroad are kicking against it because many of them have not seen their loved ones because of that law. So now they tell them, if you bury them when I come, you will remove them from the grave. So they're threatening them, and or they refuse to send the money and say, I'll bring it myself and do the thing myself. So, and I applaud them for that because they cannot do that. There was a question.
What is the average age of marriage for young men and young women?
Within the Christian community in the Gambia, it would be after you have maybe graduated from high school. There was a time, but now, because your parents will want you to get educated, they will not let you get married early. Like for me, I got married at 19. I had already completed high school and things like that. And people will get married as early as 18, 19, 20. But below that, even the gender activists or advocates are not allowing things like that because of health reasons. There is no way you can get a child younger than 17 getting married. What can that child do to a child?
And also it depends in what area.
Yeah, in the areas.
There are certain areas where people are more educated that they'll make that decision for their children. In the provinces where people are not educated, you'll have some child brides getting married to way older people. And we're against it, but it's a big fight. It is.
Well, like we mentioned yesterday, Justine mentioned 9 months before really our process took 9 months before we got married. But the main reason for that was what we would call background check. That has nothing to do with the police and FBI this is a traditional background check. They go and ask people in your village. They came to my village and checked with people. Okay, the Penny family, my dad was Penny. And do they have witchcrafts? They send people to go and check if I own a house. Actually, they even asked me, do you own a house? And I said, no, quite yet, but my wife helped me to say that I had the plot where I would build my house. But I did not have the house. Because if you say you don't have a house, so why are you taking our child, our daughter? Where are you going to throw her on the street or what? So you need to have at least where where you are taking her. So the problem, the length, has to do mostly with that background check than because there's a very specific amount of time. Victoria talked about 6 months. Okay. But now, don't be offended, anyone. I just want to say that before I say this. I mentioned yesterday, we have 261 tribes in Cameroon, 275 languages. Every tribe has something different, the ways they go through that background check. And in a tribe that I know very well, because of between Muslims and their religion is animism. That means they believe in other things than God that we know. In order, we have tribes too, right? Yeah, and people act differently.
Yeah, we call them ethnic groups. We have ethnic groups.
Ethnic groups.
Sorry. We have ethnic groups.
Yes.
I'm not used to this.
So, in order to seal the marriage, the groom and the bride, they need to go in a room and they need to come out with a white sheet and blood on it. Proof that she is or she was a virgin. Without that, there will not be a marriage. Without that, there will not be a marriage. But, you know, I don't share this a lot because some people may feel it gross. Just even told me not to share that, but that is the tradition. It doesn't happen. It is what it is. It doesn't happen in my tribe, but that is what actually happens. You need to prove that you were a virgin before you get married.
We do have ethnic groups that do that.
Yes.
We have the Fullers, the Mandinkas, the Wolofs. They do that. They do that. Chastity is part of their it's their religion. You should not have sex out of marriage. Yeah.
My question is, what is the voting process like in the Gambia?
I was a little nervous. That's my husband. I'm like, what questions do you have? I kept looking at him like, really funny. What is it? So our voting process is very interesting. We vote with pebbles. Yes, we vote with pebbles. And after you vote, because we want you to vote once, they have your finger dipped in ink where you can't wash it up. That thing stays for months. Unfortunately, I came to the United States when I was 17, so I didn't get to vote, but I got to learn about it in school and see people do it. But yeah, then they'll take the pebbles and weigh it. So that's why our elections are very corrupt. Sorry.
I only voted once in my whole life in the Gambia because I always have been in and out. I only voted once.
Yeah. But might you vote?
Yeah, I said I only voted once in the Gambia.
Because she traveled, and her work included her going in and out of the country. So when it was election time, and we don't do mail-in ballots, so you missed mailing pebbles, right?
Is it usual that you must prove that you're still a virgin before you get married so that you wouldn't find out that your partner is cheating on you? I know it's kind of weird to ask me this, but I'm just curious.
So in present day, it really doesn't happen that often because a lot of things happen, how do I put it? The goal is for you to stay virgin until you get married. So
not for the man though.
There's no way to find out. Right, yeah.
Hi, my question is about the finances. Seems like everything is around money, money, money.
Yes.
What's the difference in, I know the currency level changes. $100 in American money is what in your money?
Mako, can you search?
Kendra.
Mako, can you look on your phone? 73. This man is so interested in my country. He actually will be on YouTube and showing us foods and stuff like that. And he's only been there once, but it is $1 equals 73.
7,350.
Yes. No, it's 73, well, $1. $1 is $73. Our currency is Dalasi.
$100.
Yes. Yeah, no.
7,000.
And what is the
Yes.
currency? What is the name of the currency?
It's Dalasi.
Dalasi.
Our
Currency.
So, yes, and the pennies is called butut. But like a dollar is like Dallas is like you guys have pennies, ours is butut, like the 1 penny, but yes. So I'm saying $1 equals 73 Dallases. Now what can 73 Dallases get right now in the Gambia? Absolutely nothing benefits.
Anything on the food basket.
When I came to the United States in don't calculate my age, 20, was it 2021? No, 2001. $1 equals almost 15 Dallases. So over that long, it's been $1 equals 73 Dallases. So our currency is horrible. Very, very, yeah.
While we're talking about money, oh, sorry.
You guys continue, then I can ask my question.
Okay. While we're talking about money, when we are celebrating anything in the Gambia, whether it's a christening, whether it's a wedding, whether it's a funeral, you have this safety net where it's the communities. They come and contribute towards the event. They all will contribute towards the event. It doesn't have to be you alone doing it. In fact, if it's a funeral, a best friend will come and say, I'll do the coffin. Yeah. Somebody will say, I'll do the grave. And that's it. On the day of the event, the food that is being served, and I did have a video where you see they're cooking. It's like a block party, when you call a block. Everybody's cooking at a big venue. Everybody's cooking different dishes at a big venue. And it's the families bringing it. They'll bring a big bowl of food for you to serve to your friends. So we don't have, oh, the wedding is for just 50 people. No, the wedding is for 1,000 people.
There's no RSVP going on. Even somebody can just pass by and come in. So.
The only place where you will have guests in will be at the reception, at the wedding reception, which follows the officiating of the wedding at the church. But as soon as you get to your compound, you will find people seated already. They would all wear you see those women dancing? They will all be wearing the same thing. So if I know where you are selling, where they're selling it, I'll buy it and just come. And I'm a guest. Nobody will tell you anything. If you break a glass, they won't drive you home.
Yes.
I also have another question. Do they have any more typical types of dances, even at a wedding? And what do the colors represent at each wedding for a dance?
I was telling my sister that I wasn't going to say this, but the official, the church, sorry. The twerking that people do, we call it bantilater. It's a cultural dance. But it's not so, how would I say? Vulgar, yes. Yeah. We went to my uncle's wedding in 2013 and we were there watching and my husband kept looking at me. I'm like, it's okay, you can watch. But it's part of a cultural dance. So and then different tribes have their own dance. So, but most African dancing includes more women, and it's always about the hips. So, yeah. So there's different ones.
The Wolof dance.
They jump. Don't jump on top. I can't catch you.
and the Mandinkas. Like flying.
Yeah. There's different.
And the Akus, we come in sporting.
Mm-hmm. They're more that video was more of the Aku tribe.
Just a quick question. If you were to see the Gumsies dance, could you tell they were from Cameroon versus being from the Gambia?
You would definitely know they're not from Gambia.
You would know they weren't from Gambia?
Yeah,
Okay.
They are distinct. The steps,
Yeah.
the movement is all different.
And we could probably name a few countries where that dance would be from, and one of them would be from Cameroon. So.
Gotcha. And then second question, we learned yesterday from the Gumsies that his children, or their children, this is their first generation that have carried on with the same last name as their father, or their father and mother. How is that in your country? Does the the husband's name carry on with the kids, or do they get a different name?
It depends. Some people name their children after their parents, some don't. Like, usually the first child is always named after a parent and things like that. She's Kendra, Eudora. I don't know where I got those names from at the age of 19. But I appeased them by giving her grandfather's name and Francis. Just because he was Francis and she's Francis.
Yeah.
But they do that. It's like an honor to name your children after you. They don't call them Junior, but
No Junior.
they don't. They just call them their name.
And I'm very special. I am named after both my grandparents. I'm Regina, Ellen, Sarian, and I used to be Savage and Williamson. My dad has 4 girls. My mom and dad have 4 girls. And we take the husband's last name. My oldest sister she hyphenated, right? And then Sonia hyphenated, the second oldest. I couldn't hyphenate. I have 2 middle names. And my married name is Williamson. I would be a whole sentence. So I had to give that up. So, yeah.
I'm really referring to the family name.
Yes.
So like
The
Gumsey,
male.
and then when their kids have kids, do that name Gumsey continue on?
Yeah.
Okay.
If they're male. If they're the male.
If they're male?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But if they're female and they're not married yet, do they have a different last name?
No, they'll keep their maiden name.
Just like here in the United States? Okay.
Yes.
And are there certain birth culture or birth rituals? We learned last night that there were some birth rituals. Are there, you referred to christening. And I know that's something that we do here in the United States as well, but are there things that are
Or baby
unique
shower.
to the Gambia?
Oh, we don't have
Or baby shower?
We don't do baby showers. We do, like, is it 7 days after the baby is born? So when the baby comes home, and back home, I remember my little sister was born at home, but I think I was born in the hospital. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But
All 3 of you.
yes.
Okay.
So seven days. The day the baby's born. Most of the times you go home the same day. I don't know how you guys work.
There you go. Like you, I heard her.
In the mic.
I heard her in the morning, and we went home that very day. Yeah, early in the morning, and we went home that day.
Yes.
Yeah, all of them, I think. Because since you have a natural delivery, you can go home the same day after you have the baby.
And so the plan is you go home and you stay out, well, I want to say you don't bring the baby out into the sun until the 7th day, which is when we have the naming ceremony. And that's when the baby gets their name. In the Christian culture, that's when you get christened. So.
The baby doesn't see the light of day until 7 days after they're born. Once you bring them home, they don't go outside.
Make her go outside in the church. I'm kidding.
Something that struck me on your presentation, and I want to compare that with Cameroon. The national anthem is all about God, 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 God. Our national anthem doesn't have God anywhere. And that is because Christianity was brought to Cameroon by white people. And many people did not accept them. We did not like them, especially people from my tribe. We did not want the white people, so much that my village is called Bangante. That means those who said no to the white people. So our national anthem does not have anything to do with God, because white people, they brought God. But later on, we had to accept Christianity. And we did, but at the same time, we kept our tradition. Because it was, they had to do it by force. Yeah, they keep people.
I think the main reason for during the colonial times, the Christians, the Akus, were only living in the capital. And the colonial masters won't go to the rural areas because of mosquitoes. Malaria was deterring them from going. Even that's one of the reasons why when the slavers were capturing, they didn't go into the rural areas too much. They were just waiting for them around this, the shore, the beach, and they would lure them with biscuits and candies, lure the children, put them in the boat and take them quickly. So because of that, the Akus were able to understand English, and then they were given the opportunity to go to school and then become Christian. That is why.
And is it 95% of the Gambia is Muslim? And you wouldn't believe that and they sing the same national anthem we sing. So, right. Mm-hmm.
All right, I just want to tell you guys, I've been to the Gambia in my experience. We touched down on the plane. It was a culture shock to me because in America, when you walk around, you see Caucasian everywhere you see. As soon as I got off the plane to look, it was black people as far as I can see, all over the country. So that was a culture shock to me from an American going to Africa. And when I got there, I didn't know they had 220 volts in their electrical, so I had my clippers and I was shaving one day, and it burnt them up. So half of my face was shaved and the other wasn't. Also, you might be standing there cooking or you might be ironing your clothes, and they have rolling blackouts, so you'll be watching TV and phew. So you know your day had to do something, you had to go do something else. But for us to experience her, I felt like I was at home. Nobody judged you. They couldn't even tell that I was different until I spoke English. Other than that, they would thought I was just a regular Gambian person. And also my experience was, they said, hey, we got to get you an outfit. So I'm thinking we're going to go to the mall. I'm going to get some clothes. No. They took me to a seamstress. I got measured, and they've cut and fitted me that day. My outfit was made that day. So that's the difference I want to let you guys know when I went. Thank you.
Sorry, every time he holds the microphone, I'm like, what is he gonna say? I'm sorry.
If you all were standing where I'm standing, and you see that eye that she gives him, it's like mama back home, I'm telling you what.
He won't get some chicken if he doesn't behave.
There's one more here.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, can you guys speak a little bit about the education system in the Gambia? What's it like?
Yeah, so you're seeing us here today because of education, actually. Our education system is good all the way till after high school. After we came here, actually, our university got a little more upgraded. It's growing really fast, but we originally came here for school. Yes, even though it was, and we are lucky we were fortunate enough to have parents that were able to help us with that, but that's what brought us here. And then I met this guy from Arkansas, and he said, I'm not going home. So, yes.
Are there any further questions? I got time for two more. Tyrone, two more.
Arkansas. Did you go home to get married, or did you get married here?
I was gonna talk to him about his bride price because he didn't get to pay nothing. We need to have a conversation, my sister, and yeah, you two boys, you need to talk to your dad. Yeah, no, so it was interesting. We were dating, and my mom was working in Afghanistan, and she came to Kansas City. Was it Lesotho? Yeah, no, yeah, and so was it? And so she was here for the holiday, and my husband says, why don't we just get married? I'm like, okay. So our wedding was planned in 30 days. We didn't do the whole traditional thing, so yeah.
And they had a boy there, Kato. They had him, he was a baby, and she said, oh, I need to take my child to church.
That's how it
We have all been baptized, so I need to baptize this child. So they started looking for a church.
Yeah. So I was pregnant with him, and I grew up in the church. We're Methodist from birth, and we were participated in, we were from Trinity Methodist Church in the Gambia. And so I was like, man, I want my child to be raised in the church. And I started looking. I went to some pretty interesting churches. And I remember coming here, and I was like almost, I think maybe like 2 months left for me to have the baby. And I just walked into the pews and sat. And I remember, I don't know if you guys remember Micah Welch. She was a little kid at that time. And she just walked next to me and she stuck to me. And since then I was like, oh my God, okay. And they're like family to us, but yeah, that's how long. So he's almost 18 and I'm going through withdrawals if you guys would like to know. Yeah.
Well, we just want to say thank you so very much for the presentation. I don't know where else that you can get fed and then get fed again. And then you'll get fed one more time because the pastors are going to come up. But one of the things that I don't know if you've been here for the last 2 nights, or tonight and last night, and I hope it continues on IO tomorrow. The discussion we're all having about community and where we bridge from Africa to America to what our pastor's been talking about is how do we impact our communities? We got to step up to the plate. We've got to step up to the plate. We can learn, and we are learning from what you're sharing with us. Hope it continues tomorrow. No more pressure on you. No pressure. But just want to thank you all so very much for coming out. Turn it over to Pastor Tanya, and just give her another round of applause for having the wherewithal to put this together.
Pastor Tanya, before you, I just want to add just one little quick something. So we've talked about the culture. We know about DNA. That culture is in our DNA, so it's not gone. We need to rekindle that DNA so that we can get back to that sense of community, family. What I've heard the last 2 nights, when someone gets married, when someone has a baby, it's not just 2 people that are doing it. It's the entire community. So we need to get back to that.
Victoria, what is your name? Regina, family, thank you for presenting the richness of your culture, your family, your heritage. I'm in love. There were some key things that were said that I want to reiterate that you said at the beginning, that we need to take with us, that we need to carry with us, and that we need to bring back so that the room is full. Stolen, reclaim, and awareness. Those are 3 strong words that our culture has been stolen, that we need to reclaim, but a lot of us don't know how to do that. And that there needs to be an awareness of who we are because we simply just don't know. And if we were aware, how much more could we do in our communities here if we truly understood what community was? Because I have heard a new definition of community, a community that originated from us. So thank you. And I want you all to know that this is not the end, because we plan to have a small group where we get together like this and we eat, all right? And talk and do all of this. Love the questions. And thank you for the thank yous. But what I want to do is I want to acknowledge the fact that I did not do this alone. And I had a team with me. So Danny, Brana, if you'll please stand. Pastor Io, if you will stand. Renee, if you will stand. If there is anybody else here who's been a part of that planning team that I have missed, the Gumpsies, yes, please stand. Victoria, please stand. These are all a part of the planning committee, and we got together each Sunday after church, and we dug in. So a huge thank you to you. I did not do this alone, so I thank you. I thank you. To those of you who are online, thank you. Tomorrow is our last night. Nigeria. Something strong about that, isn't it? Yes. And we will also start with our dinner. So you must come for the Nigerian stew that we are having tomorrow. The food has been awesome. Everything has been just awesome. Thank you, thank you. Let us all stand in community. You can hold hands. If you want to touch the person next to you, if you want to hold hands, that is great. If you can connect, let us connect. God, we thank you for the awesome opportunity to connect with you, your Holy Spirit. And we thank you that on these days, on this night, we can reclaim, we can be aware, and that we know that you will return and have returned all things that have been stolen through your Son, Jesus Christ. And so, God, I pray for all of those who are standing and connected here today, those who are not in this room, those who are online. God, that each person may have a special request that they would put before you, dear God, in this prayer. And although we all do not hear, you hear, oh God. But God, as we leave here, may we leave here empowered with the awareness that we will do something, that we will do something, that we would move to enrich our community outside of these doors and not in these pews, but in our community. So God, touch and empower each person that is standing and connected to Heavenly Father, that we would go out into our community and connect with one another. I pray this in all of your glory and your mercy we thank you for. In Jesus' name, amen.
That's good. I can't talk. Girl, yes, I love that. I love that. That's beautiful. I think I was at a conference in Denver and had it. I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. I love it. I thought, oh, okay, that's a good purpose. Yes.